Good morning, everybody. Today we are going to take eighth chapter in history, that is civilizing the natives, educating the nation. Here we are discussing about the rule of British. Hmm. In the eighth history, all over we are discussing about the British rule and their how they done to India and all. So here in this chapter we are discussing about they the British thought that the India is an uncivilized country, so they want to civilize the people and also educate them also. So we are discussing about that in this chapter. The earlier chapter you have seen the British rule affects Rajas and Nawabs, peasants and tribes. In this chapter we will try and understand what impact it has had for the living of students. For the British in India wanted not only territorial conquest and control over the revenue, they also felt they had to cultural missions. They had to civilize the natives, change their custom and value. That you know that India is the colony of British. So the British conquer India and they have the power of on the revenue, that is our country and our territory, and that revenue also they having the control. So they thought that they don't having they want more power on us, on our that our culture. They want to change our culture. They thought we are uncivilized. They want to bring their culture to in our country. So for that, what they did, that we are going to discuss in this chapter. What changes were to be introduced, how were Indians to be educated, that is civilized, and made into what the British believe were good subjects. That is what the British believe that what is good subject, not the thinking of Indians. The British could find no simple answer to this question. They continued to divide for many decades. That is, for this they debate means they quarrel with the Indians about this for many decades. Decades means one decade means 10 years. So many years they discussed about this. Okay. The topic is how the British saw education. What is the view of British about education? That is first topic. Let us look at what the British thought and did, and how some of the ideas of education that we now take for granting evolved in the last 200 years. In the process of this inquiry, we will also see how Indians react to the British ideas and how they develop their own views about Indians were be educated. And thus, in this chapter, we are discussing about these things, that is, how they influence the ideas of Indians. That is, how the British ideas influenced Indians, and how what is their view about Indians education and their education and all that all we are discussing in this chapter. The tradition of Orientalism. Tradition of Orientalism. In 1783, a person named William John arrived in Calcutta. That a British man came to Calcutta. He appointed as a junior judge of the Supreme Court of East India Company. That is, British appointed John as the junior judge. He is a linguist. Linguist means he know many languages. That is, the person who know many languages is known as linguist. He studied Greek, Latin at Oxford, French, French and English, and pick up Arabic from his friends, and also learned Persia. At Calcutta, he began spending many hours a day with pandits who taught him the subtitles of Sanskrit language, grammar and poetry. So he is interested to study more languages. That's why he tried to study from India also. The Indian Sanskrit language, the grammar, poetry also he want to study. That's why he went to the Pandits who in the Pandits means those who know more about the subject. A very deep knowledge about the subject. That Pandit, he went to the Pandits at Calcutta. So he was studying ancient Indian texts on laws, philosophy, religion, politics, morality, arithmetic, medicines and other science also. So he studied more Indian texts. Which all texts that is about law, philosophy, religion, politics, moralities, arithmetic, that is mathematics, medicine and other sciences also. John discovered that the interests were shared by many British officials living in the Calcutta at that time. That is, he also discussed to the British officials also about this, about the interested thing in that. Okay, the Englishman like Henry Thomas Colebrook and Nathaniel Halherd were also busy discovering the ancient Indian heritages, mastering Indian languages and translating Sanskrit and Persian wrote into English. That is, these two pupils, they were studying the Indian culture, Indian books, languages and all, and they are trying to translate the Sanskrit and Persian into English. Together with them, John set up a Asiatic Society of Bengal. He set up a society, that is Asiatic Society of Bengal in Bengal, and started a journal called, journal means what, a book, a what we can say, a magazine or a journal called Asiatic Researches. John and Colebrook came to represent a particular attitude towards India. They have a particular attitude. They have a particular attitude to the India. They shared a deep respect for the ancient cultures. That is not same as the British other Britishers. They have a good attitude, that is they have a good attitude to Indian culture. They thought the Indian culture is very good. Both India and the West Indian civilization, they felt had attained a glory in ancient past, but had subsequently declined. In order the understanding India, it is necessary to discover the sacred and legal taxes that were produced in the ancient period. For only those taxes could reveal the real ideas and laws of Hindu and Muslim, and only a new study of these taxes, texts could form the basis of future development in India. That they know about the different texts of India, and they think that it will be real ideas and laws of Hindus and Muslims. They study the real ideas of Hindu. There is laws for Hindus and laws for Muslims. That we know that the law of the religion is different. So that all they studied, and they were they think that this is a good future for India. While we are going through this law, it will be good for India. So John and Kober went about discovering ancient texts, understanding their meaning, translating them, make their different known of them. This project were believed would not all having British learn from Indian culture, but it would also help Indian discover their own heritage and understanding the lost glories of their past. In this process, the British would become guaranteed of India culture as well as its masters. That is, they started to try to study about that books, so they understand that India have a good culture and there is a good past we have a good past, we have a very glorious, means we have a very rich in olden days. Because of British coming, Britishers coming and conquering us, that's why we become low in the glorious, and we don't having much resources, because all the resources are taken by them and all. So that things they understand, they was just studying about that. They were taken master means they studied, and they master degree means what, PG and all. So they studied very deeply about that. That is that they were master on that. Influenced by such ideas, many company officials argued that British ought to promote India rather than Western learning. So many officials are understanding about Indian culture. They told that we have to promote India. Other than we are promoting, they were promoting the Western culture, that is their culture, the British culture. They were trying to placing on Indians. They told it is not like that. We have to promote Indian culture itself. They felt that institutions should be set up by encouraging the study of ancient Indian texts and teach Sanskrit and Persian literature and poetry. So they told that we have to bring an institution, that is a college or schools, for teaching the Sanskrit, Persian literature and poetry. Of officials also have Hindus and Muslims or to taught their already familiar with. That is, Hindus has to teach Sanskrit, and Muslims has to teach Persian. Their value and treasure, not subject that were aligned to them. Only then they believe could be British hope to win places in the heart of natives. Now, they told that if we do like this, then only British can enter to the heart of the Indian people, because then only they can win the heart of natives. Only then could be aligned, ruled, respect by the subject. With the subject view, Madrasa was set up in Calcutta in 1781. In 1781, they set up a madrasa at Calcutta, and for promoting the study of Arabic, Persian and Islamic law. And Hindu college was established in Banaras in 1791 to encourage the study of ancient Sanskrit. Text would be useful for administrating the country. Okay, they started two colleges in one madrasa at Calcutta in 1781 to promote Arabic, Persian, Islamic law, and also they established a Hindu college in Banaras in 1791 to encourage the study of ancient Sanskrit texts, and would be helpful for the administrating of country. Not all these officials share these views. Many are strong in their criticizing of Orientalism. For this actions, so many British people criticize them also. They don't like such things. Only some people are good hearted in loyal like John and all. Some all are they. Others were criticizing about this. Okay. Here, what is orientation? This image reflects how Orientalism with the British power in India. You will notice that majestic figure of Hastings and enthusiastic support of Orientalization. The place between the standing figure of a Pandit on one side and seated Munshi on other side. See this picture. They were saying this sculpture. Orientalized, those who are scholarly knowledge of language and culture of Asia is known as Orientalist. Munshi, a person who can read, write, teach Persia. Vernacular, a term generally used refer to a local language or dialect as the district from from what is seen as a standard language in colonial countries like India. The British used the term to mark the difference between the local language of everyday used and English, the language of imperial master. Excuse me. That is the meaning of that. Next, grave error of the East. From early 19th century, many British officials began to criticize the Orientalism vision of learning. They said that knowledge of the East was full of error. That is, the knowledge of East is full of error and scientific thoughts. East, why we say East means India, the side of the eastern side as India. So the stretch of the Asian places full of in the eastern side of the earth. That's why it is East. The Western means the British and all. So the study of East, the education knowledge of East is not good. They were told it is not good. It is full of errors. It is wrong. They were told. Eastern literature was none of serious and light-hearted. Nothing is inside that. They are told like that, British. So they argued that it was wrong on the part of British to spend so much effort in encouraging the study of Arabic, Sanskrit language and literature. That is, they're giving educate the pupil with Sanskrit, Arabic and literature. It is not good. It is a worst effort that doing by the British people. They told like that. James Mills was those who attacked the Orientalism. He is the one of the man who attacked the Orientalism. The British offered, he declared, should not to teach what the native want or what they respect. Don't teach the things that what the natives wanted, that is Indian people wanted, and they not to what they respect. In order to please them, win a place in their herd. To win the place in the herd, that is to win the heart of the Indians, don't do like that. We don't want to win their herd. The aim of the education ought to be teach what they useful and practical. The education is for what? For you teaching what the pupil useful and also that do in practical. Don't teach the other things like the Sanskrit and Arabic. So India should be made familiar with the scientific and technical advances that West has made, rather than with the poetry and sacred literature of the Orient. So what they had made, they started to teach the Western culture, Western language and all. By in 1830s, the attack on the Orientals became sharpened. One of most outspoken and influential of such critics of time was Thomas Babington Macaulay. He saw India as a uncivilized country that needed to be civilized. This man see India as a uncivilized country. We don't have any culture. So he told that we have to civilize Indians. No branches of Eastern knowledges according to him could be compared to what England was producing. He told that the Eastern education, that is the Eastern education is not at all balanced with the English in England. That their custom and civilization, their language is it is good, it is in high. He told like that. Who could declare Macaulay that a single shelf of a good European library was worth the whole native literature of Indian Arabic. He told that his wording, that is a single shelf of a British man, that is the British man having a single shelf, that is equal to the whole native literature of India and Arabic. It is equal to whole native literature of Indian Arabic. So that much he see Indian culture as that much low. Okay. He argued that the British government in India stopped wasting public money in promoting Oriental learning. That is, he told that it is very stop to waste money on this Oriental learning. What is Oriental learning that we already discussed? That is, Oriental learning means those which is scholarly knowledge of language and culture of Asia. That is, studying of culture and language of Asia is known as orientation. So it is, he don't stop that, don't waste time and money for that. With great energy, the passion, Macaulay emphasized the need of teaching English language. He said that teaching of English language is more energetic and passion. He felt the knowledge of English would allow Indian to read some of the finest literature that world has produced. That is, if we teach English to Indians, it will be good them to read the finest, their good literature that they done, literature the world of product. It would make them aware of developing of Western science and philosophy. It will develop them in the mind of Indians what this the development of science and philosophy. Teaching of English could thus be a way to civilize people. He told that to civilize the people, we have to teach English, changing their taste, value, and culture. The value of them, we don't have much value. Value means which good. What you can say? With values like we used to say values to share, love, then likewise so many values are there. So such values we will get by studying the English, and also our taste, our culture all will change. Following Macaulay methods, the English Education Act 1835 was introduced. He introduced an act in 1835. The decision was to make English the medium of instruction to higher education. For higher education, the instruction medium is English. They changed like that. And stopped promoting orientation institute like Calcutta Madrasa and Banaras Transfer College. They stopped Banaras, these two institutions they were brought, that both were stopped. This institution were seemed a temple of darkness. They told that it's a temple of darkness that were falling to themselves into decay. That is, this while we are studying in this madrasa or the college, what will happen? It will decay our life. Decay means what? It will spoil our life, and is the temple of darkness. They tell the temple of darkness. English textbooks now began to be produced for school. So for the schools and all, they started to give English textbook. The medium of higher studies is English. They make like that. Next topic, education of commerce. In 1854, the Court of Director of Eastern India Company in London sent an educational dispatch to the Government General in India. That is, in 1854, the Court of Director of the East India Company, that is East India Company means British, in London sent an educational dispatch to the Governor General of India, issuing the Charles Wood, the President of the Board of Control of Company. It was become known as Wood's Dispatch. Outlined the educational policy that was to be followed in India. It emphasized once again the practical benefit of system of European learning as opposed to the Oriental knowledge. The thing is that they send a what? That is, East India Company send a policy, that is while studying this English, educating English, it will be good for India, and that for that they send the president about this things. Such things was discussing in this para. One of the practical use of dispatching point to the economic European learn, it said, would enable Indian recognize the advantages follow from the expansion of trade and commerce, and make them to see the importance of developing the resources of country. Introducing them the European way of life would change their taste and desire, create a demand of British goods for India, and would begin to appreciate the buy things that were produced in Europe. What all the policies they were brought means, in through bringing these policies, the Indians will be understanding about, that is they learn about advantages of study, advantages of what, by studying English they will understand the advantages of trade and commerce, and make the importance of develop trade and commerce means the business and all, and make them in importance of developing the resources of country, that how they can develop their country resources, that also they can understand, and also the way of European life, how they are try to introduce the way of life of Europeans to us, and their taste, their desires, and also demand of British good. They try to teach us the demand of British goods, and to use that goods to, then only they will getting the sales no. And also they try to by educating English and their culture, they thought that we will buy that product from the Europe also. The Wood Dispatch also argued the European learning would important the moral character of India. In the Wood Dispatch, another argument is what European learning would improve the moral character of India. That is, the moral side of India also will be improved by studying the European culture. It will make them truthful and honest. That we are not truthful now, so not on that day while that British are ruling, we are not truthful, they told like that. So by educating us English and their Western culture, we will be truthful and honest, and thus supply the company with civil servant who would be trusted and depended upon. While we will teach them, they were educated, they will truthful and honest, they will give the job to the Indians. While they were changed to be honest and truthful, they will give the job to the Indians. The literature of the East was not only full grave error, that is, we are full of errors, graves. It in the literature of Eastern, that is full of criminal thinking and all, they told like that. It also not instill the pupil sense of duty and commitment to work, nor could be developed the skill required for the administration. That is, by studying the literature of East, we are very bad pupil, and also the Indians are bad, and they were still pupils and not having the sense of duty, how to do the duties, and commitment to work, to the loyalty to the work was not there. Also their skill of administration is not there. They were the Europeans told like that. Okay, not Europeans, the man Woods told like that. Following in 1854 dispatch, several measures were introduced by the British. So many things were introduced by the British. Education department of the government was set up a extent control over all the matters regarding the education. That is, all the power of education has taken by Britishers. Steps were taken, established system of universal education in 1857. They were started universal education in steps were taken on the established a system of university education. They start to step on university education, like now we are degree and all, no? Such education they started. In 1857, while the Sipais rose in the revolt in Meerut and Delhi, universities were being established in Calcutta. That the last class chapter we studied about the revolt, Sipahi revolt in 1857. That is the army people, Indian armies do a revolt against the British. On that time, what they done? They began in university. They began in Calcutta, Madras and Bombay. They started a university in Calcutta, Madras and Bombay. Attempts were also made to bring about changes with the system of school education. They attempt to change the system in the school education also. You have a small work, that is in this activity. You can see the activity. Do this. Do this activity, that is, imagine you are living in 1850s. You hearing the Woods Dispatch, that is about these things that what we have discussed. This what will your reaction? What is your reaction? Write it down, okay, and send it today itself. So today I am going to wind up the class. Next topic we can discuss in next class, that is what happened to the local schools. Okay, I think you understand what you have taken. If you have any doubts, you can ask me personally in WhatsApp or call me and ask the detail about this. Okay, if you are in understand. Thank you very much.